The story of the Amityville murders has become a cornerstone of American true crime lore. Its combination of brutal killings, the mystery surrounding the crime itself, and the chilling stories of paranormal activity that followed have made the house at 112 Ocean Avenue a place of enduring fascination and dread. The tale of what happened in the small suburban town of Amityville, New York, in the late 1970s is one shrouded in controversy, with more questions than answers. But at the center of it all is a series of events that continue to haunt both the living and the dead. Nestled in the picturesque town of Amityville, Long Island, the house at 112 Ocean Avenue is infamous for being the site of one of the most horrific murders in American history. It was a large Dutch colonial-style home with wide windows, a steep roof, and a prominent set of stairs leading up to the front door. The house, built in 1924, sat on a serene piece of land, complete with an overgrown lawn and a view of the Amityville River. When the DeFeo family moved into the house in 1965, it was a picture of suburban comfort, but the tranquility would not last. The DeFeos were a seemingly typical American family: father Ronald DeFeo Jr., mother Louise, and their 5 children: Ronald Jr., Butch, Don, Mark, Allison, and John. However, the family dynamic was far from normal. Ronald Sr. was known for his explosive temper and his volatile relationship with his wife, while Butch began showing signs of behavioral problems from a young age. On November 13, 1974, the house would become the site of a bloodbath that would forever link it to death and destruction. Ronald DeFeo Jr., known to friends and family as Butch, was responsible for the brutal murders of his parents and 4 younger siblings. In the early hours of the morning, Butch took a .35 caliber rifle and methodically shot and killed each member of his family in their sleep. After the killings, Butch went to a local bar to tell people that his family had been killed by an unknown assailant. His story was suspicious, and the police quickly began to question him. After hours of interrogation, Butch broke down and confessed to the murders. He claimed that he had been compelled to kill, and his defense in court would later claim that he had been influenced by voices that he heard telling him to kill his family. Butch was convicted of 6 counts of second-degree murder and sentenced to 25 years to life in prison. His defense's claim of hearing voices has been a key part of the mystery surrounding the case. Some speculate that Butch's actions were the result of his troubled upbringing, while others suggest that drugs or a mental disorder may have played a role. However, no concrete explanation has been universally accepted, and many have continued to debate whether Butch's story of being influenced by external forces was genuine or a convenient fabrication. What followed the murders would deepen the intrigue surrounding the case. The house itself would become to be regarded as a place of evil, cursed by the very bloodshed that had occurred within its walls. After the murders, the house remained vacant for some time, and in December 1975, it was sold to George and Kathy Lutz, a young couple with 3 children. The Lutz were unaware of the horrific events that had taken place there, but soon they would become embroiled in their own terrifying experiences. The Lutz family only lived in the house for 28 days before fleeing in fear. They claimed to have experienced a series of paranormal events that were so disturbing that they were forced to leave. The accounts varied, but common themes included strange noises, an overwhelming stench of decay, doors and windows that would open and close by themselves, and cold spots throughout the house. One of the most chilling claims came from Kathy Lutz, who described being physically attacked by an unseen force that scratched her and left marks on her body. George Lutz also reported waking up at 3:15 a.m. each morning, the approximate time that the DeFeo murders had occurred, which he believed was linked to the malevolent presence in the house. The Lutz family's experience was later recounted in Jay Anson's 1977 book, The Amityville Horror, which was subsequently adapted into a film. This book and its cinematic adaptations brought the story of the house and the supernatural phenomena to a wider audience. However, there has always been skepticism surrounding the Lutz claims. Some believe that the Lutz exaggerated or fabricated their experiences to profit from the publicity surrounding the case, while others argue that something more sinister was at work. The Lutz family story raised numerous questions about the role of the paranormal in the events of 112 Ocean Avenue. Famous paranormal researchers Ed and Lorraine Warren visited the house and claimed that the Lutz family was indeed experiencing supernatural disturbances. The Warrens, who had built a career investigating haunted locations, maintained that the house was plagued by a demonic force that had been awakened by the DeFeo murders. However, not everyone was convinced. Skeptics argue that the Lutz family story was a hoax designed to capitalize on the notoriety of the DeFeo murders. Some suggest that the paranormal events described by the Lutz family were the result of psychological stress, the power of suggestion, or even the influence of local rumors and media coverage. The house's dark history, they argue, might have been enough to fuel the family's imagination and create a self-fulfilling prophecy. Over the years, various investigations into the supposed hauntings have yielded no definite evidence of the supernatural. No photos or videos were ever produced that conclusively demonstrated paranormal activity. In fact, many of the claims made by the Lutz were later disproven or contradicted by others involved in the case. Whether or not the house was haunted, the tragic events that unfolded at 112 Ocean Avenue in 1974 continued to haunt the public's imagination. Butch DeFeo's brutal killings and the Lutz family's alleged paranormal experiences have ensured that the Amityville murders remain a focal point for both true crime aficionados and the lovers of the supernatural. The house itself, while still standing, has undergone numerous changes. In 1977, the Amityville Horror became a nationwide phenomenon, and by the 1980s, the house had become something of a tourist attraction for those seeking a glimpse into its dark history. However, the house's exterior was eventually altered, with the distinctive eye-shaped windows being replaced, possibly as an attempt to distance the property from its notorious past. Despite the changes, the Amityville house remains a symbol of tragedy, mystery, and fear. It stands as a testament to the horrors of the DeFeo murders and the unexplainable events that followed. Whether or not one believes in the paranormal, the story of the Amityville murders continue to captivate, perplex, and terrify those who hear it. But this story is one that may never be fully solved. Was Butch DeFeo a disturbed man driven to murder by his own psychological issues? Or was there something darker at play? And what of the voices that DeFeo heard? The answers remain elusive. One thing is certain. The Amityville murders left an indelible mark on American history, both as a true crime tragedy and as a story of supernatural terror that continues to haunt our collective imagination. The house on Ocean Avenue may have changed over the years, but its legacy endures, an enduring mystery that continues to captivate, mystify, and terrify.